Over the last 4 years, I've successfully run a profitable lawn mowing business in my neighborhood. After my time running this business, I've realized that it may be the perfect business for many teenagers just like myself. This video will go over exactly why it's a good idea to start a lawn mowing business and a step-by-step guide on how to get started. First, let's go over why I think the lawn mowing business is a great idea for teenagers. First of all, it's fairly low skill. You probably already know how to cut your own lawn, and beyond that, there's not a lot of skill to it. You don't need to market yourself as super professional or super high quality. You're going to compete on price, and we'll speak more about brand image later on. Second of all, you don't have very high startup costs. If you live in a house, you probably already own a lawnmower. So from there, you really just need to buy a grass trimmer and pay for some form of advertising, which will probably be flyers. A grass trimmer does not have to be expensive, and their flyers do not have to be fancy or elaborate, just a simple design. But I'll tell you how to make good flyers a bit later on. And finally, most big companies charge a ton of money. This leaves a lot of space for you to undercut them and still make a profit. I charge about half of what the big companies in my area charge, and I still am able to earn a healthy profit. This is because the big companies have to pay for trucks and higher quality equipment, maybe an office too. Whereas I just push my lawnmower down the street to my neighbor's house, which is a little rudimentary, but it works very well and is not very expensive. So I have much lower costs than any of the big companies. Now, let's go over the basic steps that you need to get through to start a lawn mowing business. Step 1. Buying the equipment. You do not need to splurge on super professional or industrial equipment. High quality professional lawnmowers can go for $2,000 or $3,000. Do not waste your money on something like that. You should just be buying residential equipment. I use Greenworks battery operated equipment, which I have had a very good experience with so far. But there are some drawbacks to using battery powered equipment. So let's break it down. You have 3 options when it comes to the type of equipment that you use. You have battery powered, you have plug-in electric, and you have gas powered. Battery powered can be fairly convenient because you can just easily switch out batteries whenever one dies. But this does mean that you need to carry extra batteries with you when you go to cut your client's grass. It's also likely that you'll need to buy extra batteries so that you can get through several lawns at once. Then you have plug-in electric. Honestly, plug-in electric is just annoying because you have to drag a cord around with you whenever you move around the lawn. You also need a power outlet, and not all houses have outdoor power outlets. Plug-in electric is personally my least favorite option. Then you have gas-powered equipment. Gas-powered equipment has none of the issues that electric has, but it is very loud and obnoxious. It also looks very industrial, which harms the brand image of the local neighborhood teenager that you're gonna want to create, which again, we'll get into more later. You also need to pay for gas to run it, which is obviously more expensive than electricity. Step 2, make some flyers. Your flyers do not have to be fancy or complicated. I used a Canva template to make mine. Be sure to advertise your starting price because price is your competitive advantage. You should also advertise the fact that you're a local teenager. Once again, this is another one of your competitive advantages, being local and being young. Also, be sure to put down some way to contact you, obviously. I just use my personal phone number. Again, this is my 5th year doing it, and I still run everything off my personal phone number. You don't really need a website to get started. I have a website. I started my website in my 3rd year, I believe, but it's really not necessary. And then once you're happy with your flyer design, go and get them printed at a local print shop or even at a library, anywhere that has a printer really. You can even use a printer at home if it prints in color and can print in high quality. Then just hand out the flyers to houses in your neighborhood. You can just leave them in mailboxes, or you can knock on doors and pitch to your customers directly. Step 3, communicating with your clients. Like I said before, this is going to be done through your personal phone number unless you really want to use a different option. Customer relationship management is not hard. You just have to be respectful, polite, and honest. When they contact you for your services, Ask them for their address and tell them when you'll come by to give them a quote. I don't charge money for quotes. I do it for free, and I would recommend you do the same. In terms of how much money you charge for your services, it's going to depend on what you are looking to make. Personally, I charge about half of what the big corporations charge. I honestly don't have a strict system in terms of, square footage costs this much and distance away from me costs this much. I don't really do that, but if I can just think of an example, one lawn I know that is about 250 meters squared, I charge $45 for. You should be flexible and willing to negotiate on price. Typically, most clients won't negotiate because they're aware that you're charging way less than other companies, but still be open to movement. While you're talking to them, try to set them up on a weekly or bi-weekly schedule, so that way you can return each week or every other week to make money without having to schedule something each time. The exact frequency of the lawn mowing depends on the location, the time of year, and the client's preferences. Step 4, cutting the grass. This part is pretty simple. Like I said, you're competing on price, not on quality. So don't stress out if you're not perfect at cutting the grass the first time you do it. Obviously, you should try your best and you should do good work, but if it doesn't look like a lawn off a magazine cover, don't stress out. If you've never used a grass trimmer before, it would be a good idea to practice on your own lawn first because it's easy to make mistakes with them. Step 5, collecting payment. I accept payment by cash or e-transfer. I occasionally accept payment by checks, but since most payments are $30 or $40, it's a little bit inconvenient to take a check each time. If you're taking cash, just pick it up from them when you're done their lawn because you're at their house anyway. If you're taking e-transfer, send them a text when you're finished with their lawn, something along the lines of, "Hey, I just finished your lawn. If it all looks good, please send the e-transfer to this email whenever you get a chance. Thank you, have a great day." Now, those are your basic steps to get started. So now let me give you a couple final tips for running your lawn mowing business. First of all, you don't have to register your business or get any licenses. To be clear, this is not at all legal advice. I'm in high school and this is just my personal experience. No one is going to bother you for not having a license to cut your neighbor's lawns. I've been doing this for 4 years. This is now my 5th, and I have not registered anything and I have not gotten any licenses. I live in Ontario, Canada, and the strictness and the specifics of the laws will likely vary depending on where you live. Now, before I let you go, let's talk about creating a brand image, which I promised we would talk about earlier. You are trying to create the brand image of the local neighborhood teenager. You're trying to separate yourself from the big corporations. Lots of adults like the idea of a young, hard-working teenager, and they'll be happy to support you over big companies. Like I've said already, multiple times, don't compete on quality, compete on price. Most people don't need their lawn to be perfect, they just need it to be cut. I love the lawn mowing business because I think it actually presents some unique advantages to being young and inexperienced, which not many businesses have. So be sure to strengthen your brand image wherever you can. Tell them that you're a student in your flyers, on your website. This is your business, and this brand image is what you are building your business on. Now, as we're bringing this video to an end, if you feel as though you got value out of it, then consider subscribing. I've got plenty more videos on the way, just like this one, to help you build your very own businesses. But I've talked for long enough. It's time for you to get started on your lawn mowing enterprise. I believe in you. Go get rich.